unspayed female cat breeds to an unneutered male cat. She is pregnant for 65 days and gives birth to 3 to 5 kittens on average. She is able to give birth 3 more times that year, resulting in 9 to 15 kittens in a year. The fate of the kittens may vary. A majority will enter shelters and be euthanized, since 41% of all stray cats entering shelters are euthanized according to the ASPCA. As seen on this chart, one unspayed cat can result in 4 kittens. These 4 kittens on average will produce an amount of 12 more kittens. These 12 kittens on average will produce 36 more kittens, resulting in a total of 52 kittens from one unspayed cat. Through volunteering at shelters, spay and neuter days, and studying veterinary medicine, I have seen the result of lack of responsible breeding management and how that can result in an enormous number of unwanted dogs and cats. By making spay and neuter mandatory by law, we could reduce the number of stray and shelter animals, as well as lower the number of abused, mistreated, and unwanted animals. The number of animals in shelters, according to the ASPCA, is 7.6 million total, 3.9 million dogs, and 3.4 million cats. In Iowa, that comes to 152 animals in the shelters, 78,000 dogs, and 68,000 cats. The fates of the animals in shelters: in dogs, 35% are adopted, 31% are euthanized, and 26% are returned to the owner. Cats, 37% are adopted, 41% are euthanized, and 26% are returned to the owner. These are averaged for all states. Spay and neuter statistics: 10% entering the shelters are spayed and neutered, which is a really low number. 83% of pet dogs and 91% of pet cats are spayed and neutered compared to the animals in the shelters. True or false, the cost of spaying and neutering an animal is more than the cost of raising a puppy or kitten for a year. That is false. Although it is impossible to determine how many stray animals are in the U.S., estimates range for cats alone 70 million. In Iowa, that would equal 1.4 million. In addition to overwhelming statistics, spaying and neutering decreases the animal's tendency of aggression, roaming, and other behavioral problems. Spay Iowa organization states that 85% of dogs hit by cars are not spayed or neutered in Iowa. This statistic stems from increased roaming behaviors from higher hormone levels. Tuber and Miller et al. State that the actual shelter experience can alter the behavior of a dog. This results in negative behavior problems that the dog wouldn't previously have had. So by lowering the amount of the overpopulation of animals, less animals would enter shelters, less animals would have negative behaviors that they would otherwise not have. By making spay and neuter mandatory by law, we can reduce the overpopulation of animals. The next step in making this happen is to write a bill and pass it. The bill would state how the law would be enforced and the consequences of not following the law. In the bill, every dog and cat must be spayed or neutered unless a prior breeding certificate was approved for that specific animal. Animal control officers would do random house checks. If the law was not followed, a $500 fine per animal would be given. As shown on the diagram earlier, pet populations can grow quickly. By implementing this bill, we could reduce the pet population in a responsible way. This bill would be revolutionary in eliminating pet overpopulation. The next step would be to implement the bill. Fournier and Geller touch on that sterilization has already been at the forefront of eliminating pet overpopulation, but there is no evidence that it is actually being followed. The cities that have passed a similar bill have seen a significant lower number of animals entering shelters. Benefits of the bill include lower population of animals, which decreases cases of abuse and neglect and stray animals. It lowers the spread of disease, lowers animal-induced accidents such as car accidents, and for animals at home, mandatory spay and neuter would decrease aggressive and exploratory behaviors. As an example, in Ames, Iowa, In 2010, Ames, Iowa saw 793 animals entering the shelters. By spay and neuter all of these animals, assuming there were 2 litters of 4 offspring for a dog or a cat, this would eliminate 6,344 animals entering the Ames, Iowa community. This bill could have a huge impact on Iowa towns, from making the streets safer to brightening lives of animals already in the community. My passion for the welfare of animals has taught me that the most responsible and humane way to help animals is by spaying and neutering them. Remember, your cat alone could produce 52 kittens in 1 year. So let's get our animals fixed.